and said, "Mom, Dad, I think I'm gay, but I don't want to be." What many parents do, apparently, is kick the kid out of the house. The number of gay teenagers in the United States is estimated to be at 7 million, and according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 1 out of every 4 who tells his or her parents that he or she is gay is told to leave. And moreover, 30% of the teenagers who commit suicide in this country are gay. Since we first reported this story, more parents are hearing about a Christian program called Exodus, which claims to convert gays, make them ex-gays, with a course of Bible study, behavior modification, and peer counseling.
There are parents here who need hope. There are men and women here who need hope.
This is a meeting of Christian parents who call themselves PFOX, Parents and Friends of Ex-Gays.
And let me tell you, there is hope. There is hope.
Many of these parents send their gay children to Exodus for what they call conversion therapy.
We ask you to bless this PFOX meeting.
At PFOX support meetings, parents talk about their gay children. One of the parents is Texas Supreme Court Justice Raul Gonzalez.
I want to know, why does he have that orientation? Is it genetics? Is it choice? What did I do?
What did I do? There's guilt and fear, sometimes disgust, and not knowing what to do.
It's like seeing your child racing towards a cliff at 100 miles an hour. Would you just stand and watch them? Not if you love them.
What parents decide to do may depend on whether they think homosexuality is a sin, as many in this room do. We spoke with a PFOX mother, let's call her Sarah, who asked that we disguise her. She told us that several years ago she suspected her son was gay and asked him.
He had his head down and he said, "Yes, I was born that way."
So what did you do next?
Well, I wanted to die. I said, "You're not a homosexual."
You wanted to die because he was homosexual? This was so awful to you.
Yes, because that's such a death style. It's so sad. It's the end of life as far as I'm concerned. Because what is enhancing about being gay? Nothing. You have no family, no children, no life. People don't like you. They don't want to be around you. They worry that you're going to get AIDS and then give it to them.
Yeah, but what if he was gay?
God didn't make anybody gay.
So she put her son into that Exodus program for Christian counseling. John Polk went to Exodus and says he is no longer a homosexual.
And what I was saying to God is, you must help me or I'll become an airline steward. That was my deal with God. Healing or TWA.
John Polk, who is now married, was once a gay male prostitute. Today, he's vice president of Exodus, which was founded 21 years ago. While critics say it doesn't work, Polk says it does. I have some pictures. I know you know what I'm about to show, but I want everybody to see them, because this is you. You know something? You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Were you a drag queen?
Right. That's what I was, drag queen.
Are you straight now?
I am.
You are.
You're
not a gay person who fights with yourself every day.
No.
You're not a person who fantasizes about men.
No.
Never.
I never would have gotten married if I felt on the inside like a gay person.
The old John Polk is no more. He says that after 4 years of prayer and group therapy at Exodus, he is completely straight. The woman he married is a former lesbian he met at Exodus, and now they have a baby boy.
This is where they played football.
Parents like Kathy Turk often have suspicions that their sons are gay at very young ages. She began to suspect her son Joshua was gay when he was just 3.
Did he like dolls? He liked dolls. And because he didn't have dolls, he tended to make things into dolls. So if you saw him playing with trucks, if you listened to his play, it was, here's the mommy truck, here's the daddy truck, here are the baby trucks. And so he tended to play like that, very kind of gentle kinds of play.
While she didn't turn to a program like Exodus, Kathy Turk tried her own form of conversion therapy.
I, the mother, started taking Joshua to karate classes. He never objected. He wanted to to be, he knew that he was different, and he wrote in his diary when he was 8 years old, "I hate myself. I think I'm a fag." So he knew he was different. And he went along with this.
Wait a minute. Doesn't that break your heart?
Well, it's horrible. It is horrible to think that you have a kid who suffers alone, who we subject to him to activities that he feels very uncomfortable in.
But it's also the signal of saying we don't like you.
We don't like who you are. Yeah. You are not right.
Your own parents.
Your own parents.
Gay boys tend to be more vulnerable than gay girls because their own parents rebuff what's called today a boy's gentleness, what used to be called sissiness.
He went to those karate things, and God love him. I would go there, and I would watch him, and he was as brave as he could possibly be. And he did all right until the fighting part came, and he was scared to death. And one day I sit there and watched him, my heart breaking, and saying to myself, "Kathy, you're doing the right thing. This is what you have to do so that he won't be picked on. This is what you have to do so he won't be gay."
You know, you're making me cry. I'm not kidding. I mean, this is a 5-year-old kid.
This is a 5-year-old kid. I abused my child.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Do you think he was born gay?
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind.
But Sarah disagrees.
And you know what? That's a lie. You aren't born this way, and just because something happened to you and you feel like you are, that doesn't mean you can't change. You aren't always an alcoholic. You aren't always a drug addict.
So you do think that it's similar. It's something that's very similar to alcoholism, drug addiction.
Don't touch it. Walk away.
But how can you make a homosexual like women?
I'm not sure you can.
So your son might end up having a celibate life
You might have.
for the rest of his life.
That's right. And
That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Because you know something, that I know he won't die of AIDS.
For the last 2 years, Sarah's son has tried to cure himself. But the American Psychiatric Association says homosexuality is not an illness, so it can't be cured. They resent what they call conversion therapy. They think that this is dreadful, and they would like to say that it's irresponsible.
They removed that from their list of mental disorders, and I completely agree. I don't think homosexuality is a mental disorder. I don't think it's something, to say that it's cured implies that it is a sickness. And I don't believe homosexuality is a sickness. I think it is much more complex than that.
What he says is, if you don't engage in homosexual sex, you're an ex-gay. But Doug Upchurch says there is no way you can be an ex-gay. Doug, who lives with his partner in Houston, realized he was gay when he was 10, but he didn't want to be and turned to his religion for help. For 12 years, he struggled in vain not to be homosexual.
I went through demonic exorcisms. I fasted 3 days. I did massive amounts of prayer every morning when I woke up. I mean, there are numerous hoops you could jump through.
You were exorcised?
Mm-hmm. Twice.
What
didn't work either time.
Well, tell us about that.
Let me say, both times I asked for this. I wanted this to happen because I thought anything that would potentially change me, I was going to try it. I mean, if drinking a glass of green water would have worked, I would have done it. It didn't matter. The first time I was in high school, and it was a group of friends and counselors, Bible study leaders that I was involved with, and they prayed that the demon of homosexuality would be removed from me. Because, of course, at that time, I believed, and they believed, that maybe that was a part of the problem of why I was gay.
But the demon lived. So he turned to Exodus, where he spent 3 more years trying to change. And it didn't work.
No, it didn't.
You are a homosexual.
Uh-huh.
Do programs like Exodus ever work, in your view?
Well, it depends on what you define as work.
Do they ever cure people of homosexuality?
No.
Never?
No.
Let's, for the sake of our discussion, say you don't want to be that.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to. Can you go to a program like that and then live your life happily? This is key. Happily as a straight person.
I don't believe so. I had a friend once tell me, he says, ex-gay, isn't that like saying ex-black or ex-Mexican or ex-whatever. I mean, imagine for yourself as a straight individual what it would be like to try and change.
And to become
And
homosexual.
to become a homosexual. I mean, what a bizarre concept. And yet we never think about that when we're looking at it from gay to straight.
Doug tells teenagers that programs like Exodus don't work on his website on the internet. Exodus will not give out statistics on its success rates, but John Polk admits that these programs are not always the answer. Does what you worked your way through work for everybody who goes into it?
No, certainly not. And I think it would be false to say that everybody that attempts to go through this process changes.
But Sarah believes it's working for her son.
When he started, you know, like I said, he was failing grades. He was skin and bones. He had no love for anybody. He was a hateful, mean, cursing, black-streaked child.
You think he hated himself?
He hated himself. So now he's a gorgeous young man with lots of hair, and he's an honor roll student, and he's happy. I mean, it's just, the happiness is, I'm so grateful.
By and large, no parent wants his or her child to be gay. Even a liberal parent like Kathy Turk was ecstatic when her son Joshua, at age 18, assured her he wasn't. But 2 years later, when he came out of the closet...
And I was devastated. I mean, this is not rational, because I was in grief. My son had died. That is what I thought. I tried not to show it.
So when Joshua asked his parents to go to PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, a national support group, Kathy couldn't bring herself to go.
If I go to the meeting, that means I'm saying I have a gay son. And in fact, in the meetings, they go around and they say, "Hi, my name is Kathy Turk, and I have a gay son." Just like alcoholics stand up and say, "Hi, I'm an alcoholic." I wasn't ready for that yet. It's too soon.
You mourned.
We mourned. I did not want to have a gay son.
She stayed in bed, she cried, she suffered. But then...
I moved along, and I moved along. I went to a couple PFLAG meetings.
It took her a full year, but eventually she accepted Joshua's homosexuality. And now...
I am a proud PFLAG mom.
Kathy Turk is a gay activist.
You are not alone. Thank you very much.